Hey, we live. We live. What's happening? What's happening? We are live. All right, guys, you know the drill. Um, man, I just came across this topic. Like someone commented in one of my videos recently, and they're like, "Yo, you gonna talk about the Melyssa Ford interview?" I'm like, "Melyssa Ford interview? I never even heard of it. I didn't know what he was talking about." But apparently, this is it. Apparently, this is it. So the Melyssa Ford interview. All right, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Guys, it's Saturday, Saturday Night Live. I'm trying to turn up on Saturdays now. I'm trying to get on my live streaming tip. I want to make sure that I'm just constantly delivering heat on Saturdays. I want to constantly deliver heat on Saturdays. So shout out to everybody. We're gonna have a good show tonight. So tonight we're gonna watch Melyssa Ford being interviewed by Shan Booty. If you guys are familiar with Shan Booty, um, I guess she's a retired 304. She had kind of like an open relationship with a sucker ass nigga, if you ask me. And then she got pregnant by who I don't know. She had a kid. She's a mom, and because she was talking about sexual liberation and freedom, and so Melyssa Ford decided to sit down with her. All right, okay. Melyssa Ford decided to sit down with her. So let's run it. Screw it. We'll watch it together. If you guys haven't seen it, or if you had seen it, we're gonna watch it together. Now, what else is going on in the world? Well, by the way, comment in the let's get active in the comment section. Every live stream I do, I get about like 500 or so comments. So just be mindful that people watch it on a playback. So it's your opportunity to communicate with me. We can have a conversation and everyone else in the community. Okay. So let's talk about things you guys want me to cover in general, because this was a subscriber submitted idea, right? And so I didn't know anything about this. Even though I'm a content creator and I do content, I don't always be thinking about these people, right? I don't be thinking about Melyssa Ford. I don't be thinking about Shan Booty. I don't be thinking about these people. So it's important for me to let you guys know that, if you got eyes and ears too. If you see something, say something. Let a brother know. If there's something going viral in the niche of dating, let me know. I can cover it. Because my mind, when it comes to making content, me personally, I'm always thinking about like just the next video, the next video, the next video, the next video, the next video. So I be on TikTok a lot. I guess the content I watch is on TikTok a lot, and that's why I react to TikTok videos. We have a comment from Lisa Remy. It looks like you commented mad early, girl. What's up? You came here before this live stream was popping. What's up? Lisa Remy says, reminder, spring forward tonight. Yes, guys, remember that, yo. We lose an hour tonight. And right now in Jersey, it's like 50 degrees at 10:24 at night. I don't know how. We just had snow. Now it's 50 degrees. So, damn, it's 2026, and we almost done with the first quarter already. Mufasa says, what up, Shape Squad? What up, team? What up, gang? Shout out to you, my brother. ASD FDC 1946 says, damn, that was fast. You be on it. Hey, you know what I'm saying? If you want to be a content creator in this space, you got to react like this. And I don't mind doing that, to be honest with you. I don't mind doing that. I really don't mind doing that. We got Shada 415 in the building. What up, Shada? So a lot of familiar faces. So we're gonna have a good show tonight. I know. I have a feeling we're gonna have a good show tonight. So everybody join in the chat. Make sure you like this live stream. Share it with somebody you know who could benefit from this, because we talking about groupies hitting the wall. Now, contrary to popular belief, I don't hate women. I love women, okay? But I gotta get this. Y'all gotta get this content, okay? And I gotta take the risks that a lot of men are not willing to take to say the things that we want to say, but we're afraid to say out loud. I gotta say it, right? I gotta say. ASD says, I can put you on all the viral foolishness. I don't be on TikTok. I be getting mine from YouTube. Yeah, bro. Just by the way, everybody take this moment. Follow me on Instagram. If you want Instagram, follow me on Instagram. Let's have a conversation. You can DM me at call me shape. Okay. I be in my DM. So a couple of people hit me up for YouTube advice. I have no problem giving YouTube advice. A couple of people wanted some consultations. I have no problem doing consultations. If that's what you like, I'm cool with that. If you want to just say hi, just say hi. I also post a lot on Instagram as well. I'm trying to build my Instagram and my TikTok. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. C Gamble says, "Way up, Shay. What's up, my boy? What's up? What's up?" ASD says, I'll pitch you topics. I pitch you this one in the comments earlier. Yeah, you did. Bro, I knew nothing about it. So you're the one that commented about it. Shout out to you. Yeah. I knew nothing about it. I kid you not. I didn't know what I wanted to cover the live stream about, but let's see when this came out because this is what it's 3 days ago. So you guys are on it. Did you find out about it because another content creator reacted to it, or like what? How did you find out about it? Like, do you follow Sham Booty? Like, what was the method for that? Because I don't know. Sometimes I'll be in my own world. I do a lot, and I don't be keeping up with these people, yo. I want to, but I don't keep up with these people. Real talk. So if you guys don't know who we're talking about today, we're talking about Sham Booty. Let me bring her to the screen. We're talking about Sham Booty. She did an interview recently with Melyssa Ford, and I got to watch a little bit of it before this. I got to watch a little bit of it. And boy, oh boy, we got a lot to talk about. Now, I don't know. This live stream may or may not get demonetized because it's her content. I don't know if she wants people to react to it. I don't know if she's going to let me monetize it. So please, if you support the channel, one of the best ways to support the channel is to super chat. All that money that you guys support us creators, it helps us go right back into the content. So if you like this content, you feel like I'm a voice for you guys, support the channel, yo. I appreciate you guys. Support the channel. Super chats go really, really far in this game. So appreciate you guys. Shout out to Trey. Shout out to Trey. Trey's with the big 5. Appreciate you, my brother. He says, hey, my guy, what's the deal? What's happening? Appreciate you guys. You guys are on it. Trey's one of the Trey. I gotta meet you. I gotta make you a moderator because you definitely one of the big supporters, man. I appreciate you, bro, and I know you keep all the feminists out the comment section. So I'm gonna definitely get you right. Get you a moderator. Make you a moderator. ASD says I think it popped up because I was watching Joe Budden's podcast, which she recently got fired from. Yeah, okay, so that's dope. All right. I need to tune into Joe Budden because I know he's from Jersey as well, and I don't keep up with him, but I know he got a good deal over there in the Joe Budden network. So shout out to Joe Budden. And yeah, they never really talked about why they fired her, right? And I could only imagine why they did, but they never really talked about it. What I'm gonna do really quickly because I want to make sure I say this. I want to make sure. So I gotta hop on my YouTube myself, hop on the live stream because I want to make sure I make Trey a moderator while I can. So let me make sure. I think I gotta do it while I'm watching live. I think that's what I gotta do. Oh no, wait, hold on. Damn. They got me yeah, I think I can do it here. Hold up. All right, Trey. You a moderator now, bro. You a managing moderator. Shout out to Trey, bro. Well deserved. You the highest of the moderators, my brother. So shout out to you, bro. You deserve it, man. I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. All right. So the discussion today is surrounding this interview that just dropped with Melyssa Ford and Sham Booty. Sham Booty, freaky chick. I don't know where she's from. I don't know her story too much. Kevin Samuels did interview her, so she's kind of been around for a while now. But I famously knew her from having this open relationship with this sucker ass nigga. In my opinion, he was a sucker ass nigga. And then eventually she got pregnant. God knows by who. Who knows? One of the dudes she was fucking with. And, you know, now she's back on the scene as a mom and I guess a retired 304. I don't know. But I started watching some of this video because ASD recommended it to me. And I didn't watch all of it. I just watched some of it to kind of get a gist of it. And the first couple of minutes is straight heat. So we're going to watch this shit together. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Keep the comment sections popping. Remember, like the video. Let's get it right here because I think a lot of people could enjoy this comment. So make sure you like these videos, and we're gonna get right into it. So let's see what she's talking about.
In this episode, Melyssa and I were talking about her current relationship status and what it should be called today. I don't know what the name is, but I just know that the focus has shifted. It's the decentering of men. That's really what it is. On a large scale, women have decentered men and really started to focus and enjoy their lives without feeling like there's a penance for it, or you're gonna get the lonely cat lady label. Shit, don't threaten me with good time. I want a house full of cats
or emus.
You know what I mean? But I think that women are really leaning into decentering men and realizing their worlds don't fall apart.
After we said our goodbyes, I did some research and came up with a term that I want to present to all of you first before you listen to the interview, because I think that will put the interview in the right context for you.
So, all right. So right now off the bat, you see what's going on here, how they're setting this up. They're setting this up so she's really trying to dramatize this movement, this cultural movement for women. And I'm really disappointed in old ass Melyssa Ford. I'm really disappointed, bro. Because why are you talking about decentering men? You old as hell. Why are you talking about like? It's crazy to me when the grown women, right? Like the veteran women, they're out here following the young women, the decenter men movement. We never grew up with the decenter men movement. This is that new age shit that's tearing down relationships between men and women because women think they need to decenter men. How can you decenter men? We are the center of the universe. We're the center of your topics. You're the center of your discussions. The funny thing about this interview, and we're going to get into it, I guarantee most of the topics they're going to talk about are surrounding men. When it comes to dating, marriage, sex, kids, it's all centered about men. So when you get on here and you say something so goofy as I'm going to decenter men, and then you go on and talk about your dating life, if you're single, if you're in a relationship, right? If you're still having sex, it's all about men. If you got kids, all about men. So it's a real tragedy to me to see women who should be teaching the younger women to learn from their mistakes, but instead they're making the same mistakes as these young women. They're making the exact same mistakes. Because decenter men is not if you ever hear a woman say decenter men, she's not a wife. So I don't know what Melyssa Ford thinks she's doing. And then she says, oh, don't tease me with a good time. I would love to have a bunch of cats. Really? This is why 2/3 of nursing home residents are women. This is exactly why 2/3 of nursing home residents are women. Anyway, okay, so in this part of the interview, Shannon and Booty, she wants to introduce us to a new word, a special word for these washed up leftover women, right? In a way to try to, I don't know, embellish them, right? To make them seem more holier than thou. And so let's get into what she's going to say about that, because right off the bat, you know this is going to be some goofy shit. You just know this is going to be goofy.
Ellis Ross, Maya, Melyssa Ford, Chelsea Handler, to name a few. When I think of these kinds of women, I don't think I'm single. Like single has connotations. Like people are like, oh, single. You know, I'm like, you got to worry about me. You know, like baby, I'm living my best life. Like I'm cute. I'm outside, sample size, got a little cash, drink a martini. I'm not single. Nah. I see people who have built amazing lives that are financially stable, socially rich, expansive, creative, and emotionally diverse, whom are pioneering a different kind of love life. And I'm calling this beththing, which is a posture that says, everybody calm down. I'm fine. I'm not searching. I am very fulfilled in my life, and I'm not willing to reorganize this life or define it to change my relationship status. Don't get me wrong. If something great happens to come along that enhances what I've already built and learned to love so much about my life, amazing. But if it doesn't, that's okay too. And bething is happening during a very specific cultural moment. Today, women earn the majority of college degrees in the US. Nearly 60% of bachelor's and master's degrees go to women. And in many major cities, women under 40 are earning on par or more than their male counterparts. Women are also significantly more likely to engage in therapy and engage in self-development work, while men report higher rates of loneliness and maintain fewer close friendships on average. Obviously, these are broad trends, not universal truths, because there are tons of amazing men everywhere. But it would behoove us to acknowledge that statistically in urban environments, we are now at a time where there are more financially stable, college-educated, emotionally literate women than there are men, making it very difficult to find a partner who is genuinely equally yoked. Now, if this feels uncomfortable to hear from me, why don't you try listening to John? Yeah, John Berger, this trustworthy looking man graduated from Brown, writes about the stock market, and also wrote a book about this called Datanomics. So I'm calling this bething as a play on Queen Elizabeth I. Now, I tried different terms like Nzinga-ing or kidding, but what makes Queen Elizabeth I unique and maybe perfect for this role is that not only was she a powerful woman who chose not to marry, she also never had kids. Here's a quick history lesson. Queen Elizabeth ascended to the throne in 1558. Advisors repeatedly pressured her to marry in order to secure alliances and produce an heir. Yet, she understood that a husband could dilute her authority or shift the balance of power within her court. Over the course of her 44-year reign, she entertained suitors, negotiated proposals, and maintained close relationships, but ultimately, she chose to remain unmarried. Her decision was not rooted in incapacity for love, but in a clear-eyed assessment of what marriage might cost her: sovereignty. That posture, open but unwilling to compromise the foundation of her power, is the historical underpinnings of bething. Now, this is not about being anti-love or anti-man. I love me a man. I also love me a label because that provides more confidence, more clarity, and community around wherever you're at in your relational life. I have a quiz with a bunch of different commitment styles, and this is one that I'm really proud to be adding to it, because the truth of the matter is, in a world where having a spouse is no longer a requirement, it must be a compliment. And with that, let's move into this episode with Melyssa Ford. Hi, congratulations on being in the media for how many years now?
Oh, Lord. Well, I feel like I got my first media gig back in maybe 2003 as on-air talent for BET.
Wow.
Yeah. And then in 2007, that's when I kind of started a radio-ish career with Sirius XM. And now I've been podcasting for about 10 years.
Which is an insane amount of time to be talking, sometimes every day.
Mm.
And I, just before this interview started, I had to quickly ChatGPT. I was like, has Melyssa Ford been canceled? Has she said any shit I need to know about? Are there any tweets? And it was like, no.
No, here's the thing. You can go as far back as forever ago. I never, ever, ever used my social media to air my gripes with people. If anybody is beefing with me, it is a one-sided beef because, honey, no, I'm just, no.
I love that for you. You've been an icon to me for so long. I am a 1985 baby, so I grew up around the time where Toronto was a screw-face capital. There was nobody making it out, and you were one of the small group of people who was making a name for it, who gave Toronto the reputation of being the place with the most beautiful women in the world. So thank you for your work, and I'm happy you're here.
Oh, thank you so much. It was myself, it was X, and then it was all of the video models that I was in, that were involved in the same productions. And it was always so strange how tawdry people kind of assumed that these productions would be. We were like family, when I would see the call sheet and I'd see Sasha and Tanisha and Sarah and Naomi, I was like, oh, it's about to be on. And we're just
giving me DMX and Cisco vibes right there. I love it.
But it was just so much fun. Like we were in it, and that was truly living in the moment. Like I can remember those moments, the depth and the breadth of those moments. I still remember them 20-something years later. They really were fantastic. It was a good time. Until it became a little bit like oh, I don't know, a little bit of a rush to kind of get to me. There was men sending bottles over. It turned into a competitive thing. Women were dancing around me, trying to dance on top of me. I'm looking at my people like, what is going on? I'm just like, I think it's the Canadian in us where we're just very proud.
So, I mean, this is, women always say that they need to take our podcast mics away. Oh, take the men's podcast mics away. They'd be better if they take their own podcast mics away. I mean, everything she's saying, in my personal opinion, is going to keep her single. Imagine this. A girl says the highlight of her life is being on music video sets. She still remembers the moment someone poured champagne all over her chest 20 years ago. She remembers, and she lived in that moment. Oh my God. She just reached the heights of life, of the heights of groupieism, right? And I say this because all this shit is glorifying 304ism. It's glorifying being a 304. Listen, lady, you were in music videos. I got nothing against that. But to make it seem like your life has so much meaning because you are in music videos, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. What are you talking about? You lived in the moment in a music video? Is that really the highlight of your life? Anyway, I want to address some of the things Shan Booty said in the very beginning of the video. She's talking about beththing after Queen Elizabeth, who was the first queen that decided not to have children. And, she named it beththing because, she knew that if she had children, it's going to ruin her sovereignty and this and that. And, women talk about life like it's a joke. Like it's a joke. Like if they get more than one of them, right? Oh yeah, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do that. As if they're not gonna get old and die. You know what I'm saying? Like they talk about it like as if they're trying to decide what they want to eat tonight. It's literally like it's like whatever, right? They don't think about the long-term consequences of their behavior. And what's interesting about this, when she started off the video talking about beththing, she named some women, which I don't know what women looks up to, but she named Maya, Chelsea Handler, and Melyssa Ford as like these monarchs of women. Oh my God. Like the Mount Rushmore of 304s, right? And to me, the number one thing that's similar about all these women, with maybe the exception of Chelsea Handler, is they're still selling sex. What did Candace Owens says? They always get naked. What did Candace Owens say? They always take the clothes off, right? Imagine that your whole life as a woman is over-sexualizing yourself and then condemning men for sexualizing you. Your entire life, right? Look, I got nothing. I'm gonna keep saying this because it's the truth. I got nothing against women who want to be video vixens. I used to staff models for music videos. That's what I used to do. I used to get paid for that. This is an honest thing. Pre-COVID. Okay? But the one thing I won't ever say is that I did the most important thing for these women's lives is put them in a music video. There's no way. There's no way that they could look at me and say, you know what, Shape? You changed my life. I lived in the moment dancing as an extra in a music video because of you. And now it's almost like I achieved everything I could potentially want in life. Because that's what Melyssa Ford is saying. Oh, first it was a music video. Then all these men, they're coming for me. They're buying me bottles. And then women are dancing on me, surrounding me. What the fuck are you describing? What is that, your graduation? You got a diploma? Like, what are you describing? What are you describing? She's making me so mad. I'm dropping my sign over here. You know what I'm saying? Damn, you got the Shape sign falling over. Right? All right, so we'll read some of these comments, but I got more to say about this, bro. I got more to say about this. C. Gamble says, keep up the good work. I listen to you every morning. Shit fell again. And throughout the day, you stay on point. Appreciate you, my brother. I appreciate you. Mufasa says, decentering equals loser 304 behavior. You feel me? Because you can't become a wife without us. You can't become a mother without us. I mean, you can graduate college, but is that really a flex? Right? Shan Booty said 60% of the bachelor's degrees are going to women. Okay, well, that means 60% of the college debt is going to women. Right? Maybe men got smart and realized that maybe they should pick up a trade or do something else. Maybe the college is not the way to go anymore. Maybe most of the degrees in college, you actually lose money, not make money. Trey says, yeah, it's all over the place. It is. 304ism is all over the place. Sigemo says, because that's all they get attention for. My point exactly. Right? It's so funny because on one end, women celebrate them going to college, and then on another end, they celebrate them hopping on the pole. Which one is it? Because how are you going to celebrate both types of women? Women who take their clothes off and women who get the degrees. Right? I don't get how you celebrate both. How's both of that like a flex for women? Right? How's that a flex for women? Damn, bro, this is terrible. Mufasa said the hairline has been receding for sure. No, actually, I think Melyssa's hairline was always like, she kind of always had a big forehead, respectfully. ASD said, nah, their podcast mics are a blessing. It's never been easier to identify low-quality women to avoid them. I'm older. Before we had to date them for a while before we knew they were trash. Yeah. Yeah. And the thing about it, what's so trash about a lot of women is that they don't think for themselves. Do you know how unattractive it is that women come together and just repeat the same talking points? Bro, every woman, hot girl summer, decenter men, I could do bad all by myself. I don't need no man. Literally, like the run through the list, they all have the same talking lines, like, and they rehearse it. And they're so impressed when they say it. I'm like, what? I never get it. Trey, he said the white blouse with the saggy baby feeders is wild. But once these women cross over the 50-yard line, that's all they can do is show off loose skin. Yeah. And bro, it's sad that there's younger women like this. But the thing that I've realized when it comes to women is as long as they have a vajayjay, they think they got value. As long as they got kunani, they think they got value. They really do. All right, guys, I think we have like, what, 21 likes right now? Bro, if you haven't liked the video yet, like the video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. We're going in. We're covering this Melyssa Ford topic. And I think it's important because Melyssa Ford represents a woman who had so much opportunity. She was in front of the men that were wealthy. She was in front of them, right? She's in front of these high roles. That's why the name of their podcast for today is the part about dating rich men no one talks about. The part she's talking about is how you could fumble them, how they won't last forever, how they'll move on to the next younger girl. That's the part I'm hoping they're going to get to. That you're disposable as a woman if you're just a video vixen, right? That beththing is not in the Bible, right? Be a beththing wife and be sovereign from your man. That's not in the Bible. That's not biblical. So what is that? Demonic. It's not biblical. It's demonic. How you say your name? Adeli Y says, "Why you look like Chew? Who's Chew? Who the fuck is Chew? I don't know Chew. Why you like who you talking about? Me or Melyssa Ford? You talking about? I think women are all lesbians now. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it's so interesting how they want to define themselves outside of us, but even when they do, they try to amount to what they think we are. They get degrees, they get high-paying jobs, they get money. They say that they don't need us anymore because they can replace us. Right? They can replace us and they don't need us. So as much as they want to decenter us, they want to be just like us, but then act like we're not worth anything. That's the part that confused me. If we're not worth anything and you don't need to center us, then why are you trying to be like us? Right? Like Melyssa Ford is dressed up in a two-piece suit. Right? She literally became the nigga she wanted. Or the nigga she couldn't get. HD said she fumbled all the rich guys and reminisces about the first one that wasn't even that famous. That's interesting to me. Yeah. I don't get it. I wonder if younger women are looking at this and really like, because let's read some of the comments, right? We're gonna get to the video, but let's read some of the comments. Let's talk about the comments, right? Because I think that's telling. Here's the number one comment in his pin. It says, "There's a quiet fear many people don't say out loud. What if I never meet my person? I'm curious what resonated most with you in this episode." Oh, this is Shan Booty. What's the conversation about desirability versus being chosen? That's what I'm trying to say. It's like the centering men, but everything, this whole sentence that Shan Booty even put out herself is all about men, right? There's a quiet fear many people don't say out loud. What if I never meet my person? Who's my person? A man. I'm curious what resonated most with you in this episode. Was in the conversation about desirability versus being chosen? Desirability, men, chosen, men. The reality of dating wealthy men, men again. So let's even count this shit out, right? Let's count this shit out. There's a quiet fear for many people to say out loud, what if I never meet my person? 1, man. I'm curious what resonated most about you in this episode. Was it the conversation about desirability? 2, men versus being chosen. 3, men. The reality of dating wealthy men. 4, men. Or the idea of building a life without centering partnership. 5, fucking men. In the very first comment that she pinned in this whole decenter men movement, she had 5 talking points all about fucking men. Do you see what I'm saying? 5 talking points in her own comment. Adele says, I don't think women need men. Are you a woman or you're a man? So, bro, I don't know. Like, tell me what it is with you, because I don't think I've seen your name before. So, shout out to you for watching, but you gotta be more specific about that, because your name is sus and your talking points are sus. I don't know. Who knows this chick? You're a woman, okay? So you don't think women need men? Are you willing to say that on camera? Because I'll bring you up. Right? If you got so much to say in the comment section, why don't you say that shit? I'll bring you up. I'll bring you right up here. I'll put the link in the description. You can talk about it. But if you're gonna be in the comment section just yapping, let me know, because I'll leave it there. You know what I'm saying? But it's funny to me because, look, everything that I'm saying is not to hurt women. It's to prepare women for an inevitable point in their life, and that's a point where they can no longer procreate. And once you can no longer procreate, your value in the dating market is nearly zero. Okay? It just is what it is. And so for a lot of women, you have to make the hard choice about having a family and a kid and building a life with somebody early on, because you don't get that option later on like men do. Men have a lot more time. I'm 38. You know what I'm saying? I'm not too far from 40. And I'll be honest with you, I know I can have kids well into my 40s. Right? So, women, y'all don't live this similar life like us. So to chase money during your prime and then to decenter men on your decline, that shit is just crazy, bro. Anyway, let's see what else people said. Choosing marriage and or children is a choice and not an obligation. This dumb shit. Choosing marriage and or children is a choice, not an obligation. Adele, I'm gonna ask you this one more time, because I get that you're a woman, you want to have this conversation. And I'll bring a question up here. Do you think the purpose of life is to procreate? Do I think the purpose of life is to procreate? I know the purpose of life is to procreate. If it wasn't for procreation, me or you wouldn't have life. That's the whole fucking point. If we didn't have ancestors that procreated, we wouldn't be here. Every single person in our ancestor generation had to procreate for us to be here. There is no human life without procreation. So there is no human life without the unity of man and woman. So the idea of the centering woman is trying to the centering men is trying to separate life from what even begins life, which is the unity of men and women. So women are trying to break that and make it seem like they're not demonic. How does that make sense? If life is precious and biblical, then the lack of life or the abstaining of making life, how could that not be demonic? That's something that I think a lot of women don't even try to understand. Is like you're heading in a direction that nobody else would exist. You're killing your family tree to gain what? I don't know. Unless you despise your own existence, I don't see why you would do that. Another comment said, great interview. Society thinks women are sliding down the wall crying and sad about being childless and single. Women are thriving without the headaches and heartaches. I admire Tracy Ellis Ross, Melyssa Ford so much. They admire women who decided to give their gift of procreation away for moments of fun, moments of excitement. Unbelievable. All right, let's get back to the video. I mean, that just tells you where we're heading down to. We're going to nowhere fast, and that's kind of the problem with this discussion. Anyway, let's get back into it.
About things, and I know that it doesn't really actually mean anything. Fame is a vapor, popularity is an accident, riches take wings. The only thing to endure is character. And that is a saying that I live by. It was said by Horace Greeley, I believe.
I'm glad I have the recording so I can come back to it.
I've been living by that, because this industry will definitely inflate your sense of self. And also it can rob you of it at the same time.
Sorry for the interruption. Thank you so much for staying with us, and we would love for you to come back.
Okay, so she got a commercial in here. We don't want to see this goofy ass commercial. I get she's trying to show some fitness shit. We don't give a crap about that.
You curated the Cree Summers interview.
Oh my gosh.
I know
another Canadian legend.
I mean, okay. But that interview was so profound. The way that she articulated, the process of evolution, even for somebody like me who's never been married and is child free, it still very much resonated with me, because when she said,
I think it's out there somewhere. And another really interesting thing I've discovered about myself is I don't know if I ever want to live with someone ever again.
mm-hmm.
I think, as non-traditional as that is, I really would like a traditional marriage, a monogamous marriage, a real committed marriage, but I don't know if I want someone in my home.
But I also love that how this all kind of ties in together of just like being the rules and really leaning into like,
fuck the rules. You know what they're saying? They're saying F the Bible. That's what they're really saying. That's what they're really saying is screw what the man upstairs got to say. I'm the God. I'm gonna play God. I know he was wrong, and everything that we're ordained to do, they were wrong, and I got it right. And I don't want to live in a house with a man, and I can make the rules. And look at me, right? Like children thinking that they know better than their parents. That's exactly what I hear when a lot of these women speak. This interview she did here with Cree Summer was an embarrassment on Cree Summer and Shannon. I don't know why women think that this looks good. Maybe because she might have had her cheeks pulled back and shit. She pulled back her cheeks to make it look tight and sharp, or whatever she did. But looking young and being young are two different things. Looking smart and being smart are two very different things. And a lot of women try to look smart. They try to look young, but they're old and they're dumb. They try really hard. As DC says, hey, Deli, every animal on the planet does it. It's only in the last 70 years that women have tried to challenge that thinking. Women and feminism will not change millions of years of human evolution. They won't. They think we got it wrong, but they can't even prove that we got it wrong because they couldn't be here without our way of thinking. Their way of thinking leads to the death of mankind. Extinction. There's all this, everybody live alone, nobody procreate, everybody be child free. This is why we're in the chaos that we're in right now. Right? Like, bro, well, you know what? That's why I believe in God, because he's going to have the final say. He's going to get rid of the world. He's going to rid this world of this crazy evilness. And that's why when you go against biblical principles, you end up like these women trying to convince the world with their rhetoric that they make sense. It doesn't. None of it makes sense. I'm pro-life. I'm pro-life in every aspect of it. Right? Being healthy, thriving, reproducing. I'm pro-life because I know I wouldn't be here without it. Life is a gift that you didn't get to vote on. Someone just gave it to you. And now you're here. Right? And then to be a beautiful woman who has opportunities around some wealthy and powerful men, just to sleep with them, get passed around, and decide to never marry, what did you really get out of that? A couple memorable nights of being pumped by celebrity men? Then what? They all went to have children. All the men that she was surrounded with, that was all wealthy and blah blah, and she flew on private jets, they all had kids. They all procreated. Your goofy ass was left behind, and you didn't follow the program. The Matt Rowland says, "Talk that shit, Shave. I appreciate you, my boy. Appreciate you." Trey 5 says, and then those women like Melyssa Ford and Tracee Ellis Ross end up loving a moral and having a moral rejuvenation once they are past their prime. Facts. As DC says, I'll put it to you like this: the point of life isn't to work in a cubicle, travel, have one night stands with foreign men until your old age, like feminism tells women to do. That's exactly. They tell women go have girls' trips, free sex, this and that. And then it's like, but that's the meaning of life? Debauchery? Hedonism? Right? I understand not everyone's going to believe in the Bible. Fair enough. But don't believe in something more satanic than it. Feminism is satanic. Let's show the truth. It's telling women to forgo their natural born right. It's your natural born right to be a mother. And you're going to just throw that away to impress other feminists that don't give a fuck? To be part of this elite girls club who will end right now because they won't have a future generation other than contaminating the airwaves, trying to convince other women to follow their path so they won't be alone? Does anyone believe that Tracee Ellis Ross, Melyssa Ford, Maya, Chelsea Handler, they're not going to be in a nursing home because they don't have any kids or grandkids to look after them? I don't know. I think they don't look at it that way. They don't.
Feels good for you, and finding relationships and sexual relationships and acts and partnerships and ideas that you could just melt into.
Well, it's just so nice that you exist. And I'm so glad that you're a sister, because we have to see a reflection of ourselves to learn about these things.
Yes.
Sometimes to accept these things. And I think about Brave and Hero.
Real quick, guys, like the video. We only got, 35 likes? There's been more than 40 people in here. Please like the video. You know it helps out the channel. If you support me, you can super chat. You can like the video. You can share the video. This all supports the channel because I represent you guys. Just keep that in mind. I'm the one listening to you guys, taking your ideas, putting it out to the world, to let you know, to let the world know that we got a voice and this is how we think. So please like the video. If you support the channel, like the video, share this video with somebody else who you know could benefit from it, because it's channels like this that actually start to turn the tables in favor for men. So like the video, God damn it. Help a brother out. You feel me? Help a brother out.
Beautiful daughters. And aren't they so lucky? I know the world is on fire. But in this example, aren't they so lucky to be born now, where they don't have to struggle the way I did, pretending to be something you're not in the bedroom? I mean, I used to pretend to be so coy and so shocked and so amazed, when this is the same old thing, unimpressed, but feigning fascination, but it took me years to realize you don't have to do that. And you don't have to be satisfied with mediocre sex. And you don't have to pretend something's...
So you tell me, okay, look, so these 304s had mediocre sex, and that was a highlight of their lives. Pretending that they were satisfied with the men they were sleeping with, and they didn't even get any kids out of it. I think women really underestimate how much they would love having children. I've never seen women happier than when they have children. So to see that there's another group of women who just think that would be a complete burden on them, and that the real joy in life is sleeping with men who clearly can't satisfy them, traveling the world and getting old, acting like you're still young, and out here still taking your clothes off. How is it the highlight of life? Right? to be promiscuous, to be a thought, to take your clothes off when in places that's inappropriate, right? To talk about your sex life, that's what you want to be remembered about you, that you had shitty ass sex and you got old? What would these women's tombstone read? Guys, in the comment section right now, if you in this video, watch this video right now, write me a quick eulogy and tombstone for these women, bro. Because all I see on these women's eulogies and their tombstone is, here lies a thought that was getting her cheeks clapped, didn't enjoy it, never reproduced, and thought she was the shit. Here was a woman who thought she was above procreation and sleeping with, and having kids, even though she slept around with more men than she could count. Right? Like, make this shit make sense, bro. Make this shit make sense. Daryl says, yo, Shay, how you been? Keep speaking facts, brother. I appreciate it, bro. I've been good, bro. I'm here cooking. I'm cooking feminism as usually. You know, the disease. How can we say, the mental disease, the mental illness that it is, just, you know what I'm saying, trying to defeat it. You feel me? ASD says, this hurts to see Cree Summer like this. Her and Lisa Bonet were the baddest chicks back in the day. Yeah, they were. But now, guess what? There are new bad chicks out now, and no one's thinking about them. And that hurts their heart. That really hurts their heart. Mufasa says, waiting for her religious phase to reincarnate the whole thing. Yo, they always turn to God when it's too late. You see India Love, she already doing it. India Love already doing it. ASD says Cree Summer in her 60s is the next stage of cope after Melyssa Ford in her 50s. Melissa's still in the denial stage. Cree Summer is in the acceptance stage, but that her lifestyle didn't work out. It didn't. That's why in the Bible says this, that an evil tree can only bear evil fruit. This is the fruit of these evil trees. And that only evil roots could bear an evil tree. So women expect to have evil trees but bear good fruit. You can't. You can't bear good fruit from an evil tree. You can't. You know, I think one of the most beautiful things for a woman to do is become a mother. I don't see why you spent your whole life cleaning up blood from your periods to not have kids. Your whole life. Your whole life having to go through a monthly cycle where your body keeps trying to tell you to get pregnant to not have kids? What? I don't get it. I don't get it. As he said, Trey says they were the baddest back in the 90s. Now they look like they're mileage. Fuck. Damn. I know that's right. All right, let's get back to this video because there's so much to cover here.
It isn't. And I'm going to make sure that my daughters don't have to do that dance. And I think we're coming into a sexual revolution, and women are coming to a place where they don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. And they're realizing, I think we probably never wanted to do that, but we're realizing we don't have to do that.
What she really highlighted is that as long as we are alive, we're in this constant cycle of birth and death. You know, when it came to, say, like my mom dying, passing away during pandemic, just anguish, feel endless love. But the one thing that I also felt was that I'm watching somebody leave this earth and you can't take anything with you. So everything that at one time used to be important, like material wise, it left with her. So now I was left with this feeling that I can no longer want things the way I once did. And I had to mourn that part of myself because it's like, well, who are you when you no longer crave things? I think that intimacy was something that I never really thought much about until I started to have experiences with it that were platonic, For example, when I was here last year to accept a Gracie Award for my podcast, I went out. Thank you. I went out one night with my girlfriends for, another appearance, and I had a very, 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 very tight ponytail. And I wanted to keep the ponytail, but by the end of the night, there was no way. And so my girlfriend, she sat me down on the floor. She sat like this and starts taking the ponytail out of my hair. And then as soon as all the ponytail hair was out of my hair, without even asking, she started to massage my scalp. I remember what that felt like. It was just like all the good drugs, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, flooding my whole brain and face and skin.
This lady is starving for a human interaction so much. Someone was just massaging her head to make a ponytail, and she thought that was the very first time in her life she had an intimacy. She thought that was the very first time. Melissa's been having sex. She's been getting her cheeks clapped. So think about the horrible life of these women. They get fucked. They don't experience any intimacy. They never get married. They never have kids. And the first time they feel a level of connection with another human being is when a woman's massaging their scalp. Does that not sound like a deprived woman? Does that not sound like a deprived woman? Who wants to be this? Who is lining up for this? To get fucked for decades of your life by rich and powerful men, being passed around like a cum rag, never feel like you felt intimacy in your life. And by the way, this is all to her own choices. Never feel like you had any intimacy in your entire life until the day you're winning an award for the crazy shit that you say online. And you have a ponytail that's loose and coming out. A friend of yours massaged your scalp, and that's the first time you felt intimacy. Is this really a life that women are like, oh my God, I would trade anything for that? Anything for that? 315 6 for Life says women need to pay attention to the Vivica Fox, Lisa Reyes, Tracy Ellis, Cree Summers, Stacey Dash. The story ends badly, very badly, bro. And abrupt. Very badly and abrupt. These are not admirable, these are not remarkable stories. Trey says, what does it say that these women had access to some of the most best men out there, young and old, yet they're finding themselves in their 50s, 60s, going over their blowed opportunities while blaming men. Yeah. It's our fault that they decided to become thoughts in their prime and leftovers in their decline. It's our fault because we chose that for them. ACDC says Lori Harvey, Brittany Renner, Krishan Rock, India Love, and Rudy Rose are up next. Oh man, I hope not. I really hope that these women watch the podcast and they just say, "Ugh, I don't want to be that." I can't see why a woman would want to go through perimenopausal by herself. I can't see why. I really can't see why a woman would want to go through perimenopause all by herself. That I do not get. Trey says, don't forget about Joy Taylor and Ebony K. Williams. Yeah. Bro, there's a long list of women who are cooked. Literally are cooked. Because it's a thought disease. And it's spreading faster than ever. And at least Shan Booty, she has a child, so she didn't go down the whole child-free route. And I don't think a lot of women are going to have the stupidity to go down that route of just avoiding having children, right? Like bleeding your whole life just to avoid having children is crazy, right? Like you literally have cramps in a menstrual cycle every month trying to get you to have a kid, and you're going to go through all that nonsense just to avoid having children. I don't get it. Shout out to East Coast Cab with the big 5. Appreciate you, my brother. He says, we're in a global situation right now, and all of these women care about is going on a date. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. And it's funny because women felt like the patriarchy held them back, hold them down, ruined their lives. But now that women are in charge and free to maintain their own lives, it seems like they're doing a lot worse than their ancestors. I don't see women doing better than their previous generation. I feel like women are doing worse and worse. They're getting less married, less intimacy. They're getting fucked. You know what I'm saying? But what are they really getting out of that? Because a lot of these men that fuck these women have kids, just not with them. A lot of these men that fuck these women had kids, just not with them. ASD says, and Jalissa Bermudez. Who's Jalissa Bermudez? I think I've seen that word somewhere. Add her to the list. Roxy Diaz. Not gonna say with Anthony. Not gonna say with Anthony Anderson. She's gonna end up on the list too. Yeah. And what about Carucci, right? Dating a very much sick Deion Sanders. What about Carucci, who's in her 30s, dating a very much sick older man, just to say, I guess what she's living a high life? What about that? Trey says free meals are a must in 2026. Yeah, I think so. East Coast Cam said free meals over here. What y'all talking about free meals? What y'all mean by that? What y'all mean by that? Dal says, do you think about these women in their 40s, do you think about these women in their 40s trying to be these 19-year-old young men? It's so sad and weird. Oh, trying to date these? Yeah, I mean, that's see what happens. And I did a video on this recently. What happens is the reason why older women and young men get together because they're both not desirable in their respectful age group. A woman in her 40s is not the most desirable woman to a man in his 40s. And a man when he's 19 is not the most desirable man to women when they're 19. So here's two group of reject people come together to, I guess, grieve together, to trauma bond that they're being rejected, right? Because in my opinion, those 19-year-old boys would much rather have a woman in her prime. Much, much rather, you know? See, Gamble says, it's been that way since the beginning of time. They're always easily misled. They are, bro. They are. They really are. ACD says, Shape, how do you feel about Shan Booty getting older and dating down with a significantly younger man and having an open relationship? She seems happy. I don't think women are happy. I think they're delusional. They believe they're happy. You know, just like a drug addict believes that they need drugs. You know, it's delusion. It's not. And by the way, happiness is not the goal. Meaning is the goal. Purpose is the goal. Right? I mean, if living life is about just doing what makes you happy, I mean, what kind of life is that? You know, men take out the trash. Does trash make men happy? Men clean up the filth of the world. Does that make us happy? We're doing what we're supposed to do. We're living on our purpose, which is far more meaningful of an aim in life than just doing what you think makes you happy. I mean, I don't see how that's a thing. East Coast Kev, appreciate you guys. Like East Coast Kev is donating. Like all the traditional. Please, if y'all support the channel, donate to the channel. But shout out to East Coast Kev. I appreciate you, my brother, with that big 5. He says, I think Valentine's Day was a crash out this year. And until next year, when they realize 214 is only on, it's going to be on Super Bowl Sunday. Yeah, they're really cooked, bro. They're really cooked. Yeah. Nobody's doing shit on Valentine's Day. That's 2 years of just being like an afterthought. It's crazy. What do you think about these women in their 40s trying to date these 19-year-old young men? It's so sad and weird. It is. Very sad and weird. Trey Five, shout out to my boy Trey Five, said women outright asking men for meals. I've witnessed it and been asked for lunch right after meeting a much older lady. Damn. Damn. I would tell her, hey, look, instead of me buying you a meal, what you trying to do for $40? What you trying to do for $40? You feel me? I got 220s here for you, baby. What you trying to do for this? And you get your own meal on your own time. Right? But all right, let's play a little bit more of this video because I want to hop off this live. You know, we losing an hour tonight, but let's see if we can cover a little bit more of it. Let's see if we get anything else rich out of this.
It also made me understand or led me to the thoughts that I don't know if I've really had an intimate relationship with a man in my entire life.
Would you say that, like, I don't know much about your background. You talked to me a little bit about the home that you grew up in and walking up those steps in the part of Toronto that you were in, but we're all materialistic and we live in a capitalist society. But would you say that you identified with being materialistic?
I mean, I think that there was a point in time where, you know, money started to come in. So now I could afford things that I had never even dreamed of affording before. And then also I dated men of means, you know, so I started flying by PJ and staying in, you know, wonderful hotels and incredible suites and traveling the world and, you know, literally just, I mean, I've literally had a guy, it wasn't even a first date. It literally was a first hang, spend $100,000 on me. I've had somebody else present me with like $150,000 necklace. This is the initial presentation. Wow. I'm like, that's cool.
So they're centering men, but then they're sitting over here, like they're all in awe about the things that men could do. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, that's crazy. And she's thinking it's all because of me. It's because I'm so great. Oh my God, I had a man spend $100,000 on me. Wouldn't he be better off giving you that $100,000? Isn't a wife paid in some ways? Isn't the benefit of being the rich man's wife way more than $100,000? You had to spend $100,000 on you, and you're like, that's crazy. But decenter men, you know why they want a decenter men? Because they no longer get that anymore. Now men are not important, but when she talks about the highlight of her life is with men. But then she goes on to say, "Well, I never had an intimate moment with a man." These women are confusing, bro. And when the more you listen to them, the more you realize that they contradict themselves left and right. Their premise of their argument is not really substantiated in their life, and ultimately, like, this lifestyle is not sustainable, right? Melyssa Ford can't go out there and have a man spend $100,000 on her again or buy a $150,000 necklace for her anymore. But it inflated her ego to believe that she's worth so much. But how come she got so little? Right? That's the conflict of being a groupie in the limelight. In a way, you didn't do anything to deserve it. You were just born, right? You're born, you hit the genetic lottery, right? Men are spending money on you because there are simps out there who spend a high amount of money to be around a woman like her, which, by the way, some of the men just hit it for free. That's the thing I think people don't even understand. There's simps out here blowing the bag on a girl that other men are just hitting for free. And a lot of times these men are trying to impress these women. Why are you trying to impress a bimbo? I can never, guys, can you imagine being rich and your goal is trying to impress a thought from the hood? Can you imagine? You become rich and your goal is trying to impress a thought by splurging hundreds of thousands of dollars on her. And now she looks back in time and says, I never had an intimate moment with a man. So she probably even, if she's had sex with you, she probably didn't even enjoy the sex. And you did that all to impress her, and she's not even impressed. She's impressed with the fact that someone would do something like that for her. She thinks it speaks volumes about her, but all it does is speaks volumes about women when they're young, in their prime. That's all it is. That's all. It doesn't really speak to her in particular because you can't stay young forever, so it's not something that you have a hold of. Is that in your prime, men are going to thirst after you. And as a woman, you should understand that's your opportunity to become a wife. And that's in my opinion. But to become a thought and to get washed up and left over, how did that work out? I don't see how that worked out.
Easy, but I'll take it. I looked at that necklace. I was like, that is a down payment on a house. Let me hold on to that sucker. But you know, it just rings so hollow, because then you'll see those same guys do that for other girls, kind of thing. It just ends with means that's
look what she said. Great conclusion, Melyssa. Touche. Yeah, that's what we're trying to get to. You thought it was all that she realized men would do for other girls. What? And I said this before she said it. Guys, I haven't watched this interview, but what I say makes so much sense. If you're reasonable, you come to that conclusion too, that it's not you. It's just a seat that you're sitting in. When you're sitting in a young woman's seat, you get what young women get. When you're 19 and you're attractive, and you're 20 and you're attractive, and you're 21 and you're attractive, you're sitting in the prime of female beauty and desirability. When you're sitting in that seat, you could get that. But guess what? There's other women sitting in that seat too at the same time. Guess what? When you age out and you become an undesirable woman in her 40s and her 50s, there's still women sitting in that seat. Every year, there's still going to be beautiful women that are in their teens, in their early 20s, and there are going to be men lusting at them. When the day I die, the day you die, the day that your oldest grandchild dies, which, by the way, not her grandchild, because I guess she won't have kids, but the men inside the audience is listening to this. When your oldest grandchild dies, there's going to be a young woman who a man is going googly eyed about. So to feel like there's something intrinsic about you is no, it's just something seasonal about you, Melyssa. You're in the prime. Just like when you're a rich man, you understand that you get certain girls who would date another rich man if he was in your shoes. It's the seat that you're sitting in. The difference is, though, men have to achieve that. So it's kind of a nod to his character. It's kind of a nod to his ambition, his discipline, and his relentlessness. It's ascribed, right? Or is ascribed the opposite of achieved? Don't let me mess up the words right now, right? He had to achieve it, right? Where being 19 or 20 is not something a woman achieves. It's just the season that she's in. It's not an achievement. It's not an achievement. Trey says, today's women went from wearing their girl's outfit to wearing the club dress everywhere. Man. Izzy said, to be fair, Melyssa Ford's not from the hood. She's from the burbs. Maybe she is. I don't know where the fuck she's from. HD says, Carucci low-key respects herself. She might actually get somebody. She got somebody. She's with Deion Sanders, but Deion Sanders doesn't want to have any more kids. And look, she probably wants to enjoy the ride because women like her, think about Joe Biden's ex, Caitlin Garcia. Y'all remember Caitlin Garcia? Yeah, I remember Caitlin. I met Caitlin Garcia. She's actually at the time, she was beautiful in person. She fell off now. But she's an example of a girl who had an opportunity with somebody. And by the way, the man she's with became even more popping, more rich after she was gone, which is the risk that you take as a woman, that you're dating a man. He might be bigger than he was 10 years later, and you're always going to be less desirable than you were 10 years later. That's a part that has to stink when it comes to being a woman. That you can stun on a nigga all you want, but he could glow up in ways that you can never. You know, men, we age backwards in a way. As we get older and we get more successful, we become more desirable to the most desirable women in their prime. As women age, they don't become more desirable to men and the most desirable men. They don't. There's no group of successful men that got means that are really chasing behind Melyssa Ford. Do I know personally? No, but I think it's just reasonable that if you could have a younger, more attractive woman who's not a feminist, you take her. I don't see what's the advantage of dating an old feminist woman. What's really the advantage? ASD said she's with Dion, but that's not gonna last. It could last, bro. I don't know. I'm not here to. I can't speak for that. It could have not last. I don't know. I think she's gonna hold on tight because I know she don't got that many. She knows she don't got that many summers left. And her what she's doing with Dion is classic because he's older and she's older too, but she's still considerably younger than he is. I think she might be 34, 35. Dion might be 54, 55. Bro, yo, if you like Karrueche, just say so, brother. I mean, yeah, I get that you think she might. I'm not here to say Karrueche's done. I'm not. All these women are just examples. They're stories for people to understand what's going on in the world. They're not to say definitely that everybody's going to be screwed. Some women get lucky. So there's stories about women who turn in their 40s, they get married, they have kids. It happens. But it's just the exception. It's not the norm. It's not something that happens all the time. Trey Fox said, "Not that Dion's kids are in the NFL. She can get the attention up at Colorado." Yeah. Shout out to Dion because Dion might have a good 10 years left and he got some serious health problems. So I don't know what's going on with him, but he don't seem like his health is on the ups and ups. It seems like it's on a decline. And shout out to Karrueche for staying by his side, but I know she's probably trying to get in on that will. Karrueche probably trying to get in on that will. It's probably what she's really doing, respectfully. You know, that's what I think she's really doing. But anyway, guys, like that's kind of my take on this. I think ultimately, Melyssa Ford, obviously she's cooked. I think in ways she realizes she's cooked. She understands now that when she was younger and she was spoiled, it wasn't because of her. It was because of her season, and that season doesn't last forever. And that most girls get that season if they're attractive enough. And that as you age, there's always going to be a younger, more attractive, cooperative woman than you are. And so you're going to have some serious competition for a man of value if you want that. But since she's decentering men and she don't mind living with cats, maybe she's going to be all right because that is a real option for her. Being by herself, living with cats. That's a real option for Melyssa Ford. I think if she's being genuine about it, which I don't think she is, I think she's just projecting. A lot of women will say things that they hope would be true rather than it be true. She wishes that none of this shit would matter to her. She wishes that. This is actually a good point right here. ACDC says Ashanti barely made it. She did, and what she did was she went back to a nigga she used to date. Think about that. Let that sit. She went back, and she was humble enough to do so. That's why I worked that in her favor. She went back to a nigga she used to date and got knocked up by him. That's what she did right. I respect her for that. I thought the part when she talks about the men she looks back on finally was interesting. Yeah, I didn't get to that part, and you put me on an interview, bro, and I might sit and do a reaction to some of this stuff just to see. I'm gonna see if this video itself gets monetized, but I ain't have enough time to skim through this shit. This is the first time I'm coming across it, and it seemed interesting enough to talk about it on this live stream, just to kind of hit the point, but. Yeah, this conversation in itself, to me, my brain cells feel like they die. I feel like I lose brain cells when I listen to this because it's like, women just a lot of the time, a lot of these women are just making shit up. They try to sound so bright. I mean, they don't sound intellectual to men. They sound intellectual to dumb women, respectfully. They don't sound like, I'll listen to this and I'm like in awe, right? I don't feel like I'm listening to Ayn Rand, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I'm listening to like one of the most intelligent women. I feel like I listen to just another bimbo with a voice, right? And so shout out to her, respectfully. I think hopefully this will be a lesson to a lot of women that neglecting your youth as an opportunity to find a man is a mistake. And then trying to decenter men later on in life when you already failed is a mistake. And then a lot of these women are probably not happy. They're crying themselves to sleep. I mean, just listen to what they're saying. You got to read in between the lines. She said she never experienced intimacy with a man. That's so crazy for a woman who was a thought. That sounds so traumatic to me. Like, she really needs therapy. I feel for women like that, to be fucked your whole life and not feel like you had any true intimacy. That's wild, right? That literally is scary, right? So, I think interviews like this, they won't age well for women, but what would happen is that women who are smart will look at this and learn what not to do, right? Don't do this. Don't think you're above the program. Don't think you're above. What makes what makes us have to be humble as humans is that we're all gonna die. And when you think about your death and you really understand that they save it for last, you really have to look at your life and say, all right, what's the point of all this? Why get up and do all this? Were you really like a video vixen just to get fucked, get some money, be neglected by men, later on hate men, feel like you never had intimacy with them, and then come on talk shows and pretend like you're so happy about it? Like, what was that collection of events and that trajectory of your life? Was that all like worth it? Because when she said that she has no regrets, then how does that make any sense? I don't get it. How do you have no regrets if that's how your life turned out? I don't get it. Nor do I really care to be honest with you. I mean, that's on them. You know, if they like it, I love it. Fine, fuck it, whatever. That's their life. Anyway, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. You know, it's gonna be spring forward, so we're losing an hour. So I know it's 11:30, but it's damn near 12:30 to be real with you. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you guys. More videos coming out. You know, I'm dropping 2 videos a day. I'm already at 100 videos for the year. You know, I'm working like a machine. The show must go on. And, you know, guys, again, follow me on Instagram and call me Shape. DM me your ideas for videos. Shout out to ASD. He put me up on this. And so I reacted to it. He literally commented on a video recently. So shout out to you, my brother. I appreciate you. But I am looking for new content buckets to tap into. As my channel starts to grow, I'm looking to expand the topics and the things I talk about. I don't mind talking about dating. I'm going to keep talking about dating, but I'm looking for other things to talk about and to discuss that is relevant and interesting to men, because this conversation in some way, it gets a little redundant. I like when girls give me fresh ideas. There's fresh movement. I don't know if you guys see my video about the 48-hour first dates. I thought that was kind of interesting. That kind of keeps me going from making dating content. And then my own personal experience. I'm still dating. I'm still out here. I'm still meeting women. I'm still in the same place a lot of you guys are, like still trying to figure it out, navigate these dot-infested waters and come out unscathed. So I'm here with you guys. Anyway, like this live stream. I appreciate y'all all. Thank you for all showing up. Thank you for everyone that donated. Shout out to Trey5. He's one of the new moderators. Shout out to East Coast Kev. You know what? I'm gonna make East Coast Kev a moderator too, because he's constantly, shout out to you, brother. I constantly see you supporting the channel and definitely giving some good talking points. And so shout out to you for that. I know there's times where I have to definitely like or pin your comment to the top of a video because you had like the most popping comment in some of the videos that I do. So shout out to you too, my brother. I really appreciate you. Other than that, y'all, every Saturday, y'all hop on. I'm gonna hop on 10 o'clock, 10:15, 10:30. We're gonna try to keep this shit going. You guys keep showing up. I'm gonna keep showing up. And until next time, people, y'all check out some of my other videos as well, right? Do your part, man. I appreciate y'all. All right, and have a good night. Have a good weekend. I'll see y'all over there.